A smile frame, feeling great. Champagne, pouring bad bitch with me. I live it up every day. On recline, not a problem. On my mind, 95's with that fit.
Hear ye. Make way for the Kingz. The Kingz are here.
You think the bitches are great because you're fucking seasonal, nigga? You can't be seasonal! Niggas got this shit's 24 hours a day!
Kingz. You're listening to the Kingz Podcast with your hosts, Karizmatik, Irish O'Neal, and Moush.
Welcome to another installment of the Kingz Podcast. I am yours truly, Karizmatik.
What's up? It's Irish O'Neal.
Moush.
Today we're joined by Mr. Rob Crean.
Hi. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Anytime. And as usual, we're gonna start with the three principles. The first of which, I mean, we have to always say is confidence,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're not buying what you're selling, they're not gonna be buying what you're selling. As I always say, you gotta be willing. You gotta want to fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, who wants that? Like, if you don't want yourself, just imagine the people out there. You're not showing any confidence. You're not showing any aptitude. You're not showing any gusto. None of that. All those funny words. You know what I mean?
It's literally the reason I get away with calling women bitch all the time. Because when I first was trying to do, at first you can't be timid about it, right? If you're like bitch, like yeah, you're gonna get slapped upside the fucking head. But I'm like, yeah, bitch. I'm like, don't call me bitch. Okay, bitch. Now what?
I choose not to use that word, but yeah, I
You know
mean,
me, I give
confidence
the
in
extreme
everything.
examples.
Confidence in everything works. It does. It's true.
Yeah. Well, I think confidence also comes from working on yourself, and I think if you work on yourself, then that's going to be more attractive. You know, like someone that's putting an effort to improve themselves is going to be more confident. Is
Yeah,
going to be
bitch.
more attractive.
Yo, can we design a banner that says "At Kingz We Care"? It like rides in on a unicorn.
When we drop our website, that's what the opening page is going to be. Landing page. At Kingz We Care.
Irish, you want to hit him with the second one?
Yes, the second principle that you need to get these ladies, honesty. As I always say, honesty at all costs. If you're a monogamous guy, let them know that that's what the deal is. If you're not, let them know that's what the deal is. If they ask you if they do I look fat in this outfit? Yes. If you think that they look fat, don't go like, no, honey, you look great. Now, you don't have to be as abrupt and go, yes, you look fat. You know, you could soften it and be like, well, what do you think? And they're like, yeah. You go, oh, well, there you go. And if they go, well, like, you know, I'm talking like, look, it sounds harsh, but it's like you have to be that honest with them where it's like on a level, if they're like, well, if I started getting fat, would you leave me? Yes.
You see, I'm not that blunt.
If I'm being honest, I would. If you became unattractive to me, I would.
I wouldn't leave you because I couldn't fuck you anymore. Just the sex would stop. I could be honest about that.
That's
I'm
even
attracted to
that's
a type.
And
enough.
it's the other way around, too. Females have to be just as honest.
Yeah.
Everybody. Definitely.
Yeah.
Y'all are usually better people than us in that category. A guy puts on a little bit of weight. Y'all are usually like, oh, he's fluffy. And like, y'all just find different attractive words to
You guys
use.
are a lot more forgiving than we are. In
Now
terms
no
of, like,
one
the look
but me will
department.
fuck him and he can't leave.
True. I mean, they will break up with a guy and still go back and smash. You know what I'm saying? Just to not have new dick. You know, like,
That's fair.
y'all are an inspirational breed.
And the third principle, social intelligence.
Go ahead, Ani. Go ahead, Ani. Go ahead. Don't just start it off and not finish it. Go ahead.
So you have to have social intelligence. So we always advocate for being funny, but that just means, be interesting, have a hobby, have something that you like to bring to the table.
How do you feel about that, Rob?
Yeah, for sure. And like trying to make sure that you figure out the dynamic that's happening, because so often I think a lot of guys don't, and then they get like upset because they had an expectation that was based on their lack of social understanding.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a good reading. What do you think your side of the relationship, or what do you bring to the table as far as the relationship, or typically have?
I'm funny and I'm nice. I think I've dated a couple of women that didn't think I was funny, but
Damn.
I was like,
Oh, wow.
I didn't like. I was like, what are you getting out of this? Weird.
Just the nice part.
What,
you
what
know?
did
Yeah.
they think you were, if not funny and nice?
I mean, they didn't say that I wasn't funny.
Oh.
Well, everyone thinks I'm nice. No one. I don't think anyone's ever thought I wasn't nice, but I don't know. I feel like
Yo, shh.
Keep it quiet over there, peanut gallery.
alright, cool. Yeah, I don't. I mean, they didn't like tell me that I wasn't funny, but they just didn't. I would make jokes and they would roll their eyes, but
I still think the most psychotic Tinder exchange I've ever had was this incredibly hot goth chick. Everything was great until I brought up stand-up comedy, and she was like, "Oh, I don't like stand-up comedy. I kind of find comedy annoying." And I was like, "Who finds comedy annoying?"
I do not like to laugh.
Like, no, exactly. That was why I was like, "You don't like to laugh? What's wrong with you?"
So many things.
I think some people find stand-up really difficult because they are too empathetic and they're so afraid that the person's gonna fail and then they're gonna have to watch them like have a bad experience of not doing well. That it's
That's
like
wild.
Actually, you know what?
That is
That's
is very wild.
good insight. I recently received some information about personally in my comedy life from exterior parties that they think it's more of a cry for help and that they're more concerned that it's a cry for help rather than something that's like an outlet, you know? So
like
I think
your material or just that you're doing comedy.
both,
Yeah.
which I find
And
inherently even more funny.
Yeah. Wow.
Let me ask you this because I know you. Was this a third world person?
Not just a third world person, more than one person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I can see that type of exchange happening with like my mom, even though like my mom is actually very supportive of this. But like most cultural parents are like really hard.
Yeah.
Really hard. I mean, a lot of the Chinese comedians on the scene will usually go into a joke on how they're being a disappointment to their family or something like that. But a cry for help? Yeah, no, I don't see that. I don't get that from you. I mean, I get that from
Yeah.
some people. Some people
Yeah.
sound like they seem like they're up there specifically to just tell
God,
their life
you would think
story.
someone would have said
Yeah.
something to me before you. Goddamn.
Nah, you look like you're up there to just bash people sometimes, even though that's not the energy you actually bring. Yeah,
I'm an incredibly nice and caring person.
you're like the Viking of comedy. That's how like you. I think that's how you appear, even though your name is Irish.
Hey,
I mean,
the Vikings discovered and colonized Dublin or Ireland.
you say colonize, I say rape.
Tomato.
They colonized a lot.
Can you
of
really have
places.
one without the other?
I'll give you that. As far as the West goes, I'll give you that.
I mean, yeah, it's not my opinion. It's human history. Don't get mad at me, everyone.
Rob, any opinions?
On colonization, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's been done poorly most of the time. I don't really have a lot of good examples of when I think they've nailed it.
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
I think. I mean, no. I'm just thinking over a few times. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't think of one either.
Yeah.
But I would say this, Rob. What do you have like if you were to say that you had a type? Because I mean, I've seen you over the past like 5 years with a few beautiful women. Do you have a specific type, or like is there something you go for? Or
I don't think so, really. No, I mean, I don't think I like physically have a type. Yeah, no, I don't. Or even, I don't really have a type. No.
You ain't got no type.
Yeah, I don't really
Just
think
bad
so.
bitches.
Yeah, I
Only
just.
thing that you like.
Yeah,
I haven't
don't
seen
know.
it with any BBWs yet. So
Oh,
I
I've dated
mean,
some
like,
bigger women.
how big we talking?
I don't know. I mean,
You got? Come on. I mean, like Precious.
no, not that big, probably. But I've dated
My
some.
man.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a sliding scale here. Big's not just big. I count as big. So like,
wait, pick a height. Let's say 5'9". What's the
tallest
Let's
woman that I've
establish.
ever
Wait,
dated?
Start there, yeah.
let's
What's the
start here.
tallest?
What do you consider a fat bitch?
I don't really consider, but I don't know.
like using my what weight do you start going? Okay, maybe you don't have to use the term fat bitch. Fine, but like, you get what I'm going.
I'm
for.
so bad with numbers. I like honestly don't know like what.
oh, we gonna make you say
is-
something.
Anyway,
We gonna make you
speaking
say-
of numbers, should we do plugs?
no, I want the answer to this question, Ani. You're not gonna get me away from it.
It depends. I mean,
Okay,
it
wait.
depends. I mean, people
He's
can
like
be,
5'8", 5'9".
Yeah.
So a chick that tall.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh? You're 150.
No, that's no
2.
20.
220 up starts getting in that territory. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty heavy myself, so.
There you go. He's a forgiving guy. He's better than you, Irish.
I mean, that's
Better
not,
than
that's
you,
not
Irish.
saying much.
That's not. That's
Like
not.
Dom looks at me and goes, "Who's better than you?" I'm like, "You got time? There's a long list. There's a long list."
All right, so you want to head into plugs real
Yeah,
quick?
let's do plugs. Get that over with.
So I'm your boy, Karizmatik. You can catch me at Karizmatik IPE on Facebook, Karizmatik_me on IG and Twitter. You can catch me at Capo on the 24th and the 16th of March. You can also catch me at East Boston Comedy on the 1st and the Comedy Studio on the 2nd. And I will be recording more dates as they come along. Thank you. Oh, and Dark Horse on the 22nd. Shout out Dark Horse.
Rob Crean, what do you got to plug?
All my shows are, you can find the Anderson Comedy Facebook page. I'm at Rob Crean on everything. And I have an album coming out in February 28th called Sadly Sackerton that is sad comedy. And I think it's pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's pretty sad,
Another
but
sad
it's
boy.
pretty funny. Yeah, it's very sad.
Nice.
Word. Go and cop that. He's a very funny guy, as you'll see today.
Hell yeah, we'll plug that all month long. Leading up to it.
I appreciate it.
If you want to send us like a link and stuff too, we'll put it in the description.
Yeah, as soon as I have it,
Ani Moush.
Ani_Moush on Instagram. You can check out my Etsy store by Moush. Also by_Moush on Instagram. Check out the Kingz Podcast on Instagram as well. And book me bitches.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Dom Panzini.
Okay, Dirty Dawn. Well, go right ahead.
Go
Hold on.
Can I do one more plug? I have a merch you can buy. If you go to Lisa Lang Art, we made greeting cards that have a picture of Edgar Allan Poe and a raven, and they say, "Quoth the raven, suck my dick."
Oh, definitely got to get us a link for that.
Lisa
Oh
Lang
my
Art.
God.
Definitely
yes.
got to get us a link for that.
If you send me a picture of that, I'll put it on our Kingz Podcast
Yes, we will.
Instagram. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, Don Pandini on Facebook, DTP_ZFG on Instagram. You can catch me at open mics, and as a matter of fact, you can catch me at the brand new Dirty Dom's Uncensored open mic starting this Monday, President's Day. Tomorrow, list goes up at 6. Show starts at 7. Cats and kittens, and anything you really want, you can hit me up anytime. My sex dungeon is open 24/7, 365. Never closes, never is out of business like 7-Eleven, Jack.
Where's the mic?
It is
Sammy's
at Sammy's
Patio.
Patio in Revere. Thank you for reminding me to plug that. Sammy's Patio on Revere Beach, right by Revere Beach Station, a stone's throw from the Blue Line, cats and kittens.
Oh yeah, guys, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Irish O'Neill. Check out the SDC podcast, Shit Talking Cunts. We just had Rob Crean on today. It was a good episode. Go live every Sunday. A couple days later, out on all major podcasting apps. Check out my band Dainsleif, DAINSLEIF, Dainsleif.bandcamp.com. Get our EP Fading Leaves. And I know it's I like being difficult. And yeah, shout out to D.A.B Comedy, D.A.B Comedy Network that we're part of. Follow it at D.A.B Comedy. Check out all the awesome shows we've announced so far, and stay tuned for any other news we might have.
Yes, sir.
Dainsleif
Cut
means
that.
something?
Yeah, Dainsleif was the name of Odin's sword, and it was like a magical sword that when you unsheathed it, you could only put it back in its sheath after it had tasted blood.
Classic.
That sounds.
And my virginity is showing. Cool.
That really sounds a bit So like if it accidentally fell out of the sheath, he'd have to then kill something.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to.
Sounds very tedious.
Yeah, I mean, is killing a man with
how much-
killing a man with a
Never
sword is a
looked
lot
more
easier
like
than
a
you
virgin.
think.
Well, and how much blood do you need to
Seriously.
draw? Like, could he just like kind of prick his finger and be like, "All right, good enough"?
Probably.
I don't know.
I guess technically.
That's it. That seemed very, very.
It just
Wow.
said tasted. I mean, it might have to be another person, but like, I mean, it just says it just had to taste blood of someone else. It just said it tastes blood, so I don't know.
Did it have any powers other than that?
No, that was its.
Does it-
I think it was. I mean, no, I think that was just the. maybe it was
but-
I assume it was powered up.
That's
I mean,
the name you decided.
Can you just leave it out of the sheath for a long time, or does it like make a buzzing noise that's annoying?
yeah, you could probably just leave it out. I mean,
Or it's just like
So sorry.
until you.
yeah, I don't know.
like this sword is started to sound like the most tedious sword of all time. Like, no, I will not go back in my sheath.
I think it was power. I'm pretty sure it had other powers and shit too.
Like it's starting to sound very sad.
Dude, it's a dope logo. I mean, look at you can grab that sticker and look at that. That's
I mean,
fucking
I
so
think
sick.
the logo would have looked good with other letters too. Just
I
saying.
mean, maybe.
This is a lot.
At this point, you could have
in.
called it apricot or something, or ascot. Like that would have been good too.
What's the nerdiest thing you've ever been into?
Oh man, so many things. I like I don't know. I like Star Wars. I mean, stand-up comedy is pretty nerdy. I like.
Not wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no, you had to kill a man every time you took it out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I see.
Oh, and it never fails in stroke, and the wound.
Never
The
fails.
wound
in
heals
stroke.
not if one be
Ayo.
scratched with it. So anytime if it cut you, the wound would never heal.
Okay.
Yeah,
You just
and
bleed
you had to-
out.
yeah,
So every woman
Yeah.
for 7 days out of the month.
yeah. He
But
also
would it not heal or not clot? Like would it just keep bleeding, or could it
says
would
the
just be
wound
like a
heals
scab
not
forever?
if one be scratched with it. So
If one be scratched with it.
I don't know that. Yeah, it doesn't really clarify.
Yeah.
They really don't. The religious texts, for lack of a better term, really leave a lot to be questioned.
Religious
Yeah.
text?
I mean,
that's
technically, yeah,
part
it's
of
Odin's
their
sword.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of Norse
Oh, I see. Okay.
paganism.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Also
That's
true. Peace, homie. He also had a fucking spear. This is so like off topic.
Yeah, you gotta get a spear if you have like, this fucking high maintenance sword. You can't just have
He had a
that.
spear. It
Have you
literally
seen
would
all the
never
spears in
miss.
the corner
Oh
room?
yeah.
Yeah.
That just seems that sounds like that's just cheating.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just that's
Well, when you're the equivalent of Norse god, like
you don't have
just
to try
of
anymore.
course you just wave your dick around with like omnipotent power.
y'all had
he
some,
also rode a horse that
Can you
had
believe he gets
8
laid?
legs.
Yeah. He's charming.
And you know how the 8 leg right? This will fuck you up. You know how the 8-legged horse named Sleipnir. You know how it was created.
Sleipnir?
Yeah, you know
Okay.
how it was created. There was this one magical horse that was outside Valhalla, and I think that Loki turned into a horse and either fucked that horse or was fucked by the horse and gave birth to this 8-legged horse. Yeah, Vikings got into.
Oh,
had
I really
some
thought you were
weird
just gonna say
Christian-
there was 2 horses and they cut them in half and sewed them together.
That's some Viking ass shit right there. Now that would be some Viking ass shit.
What
This other one is-
quasi anamorph bestiality is in Viking as fuck.
All right, that's pretty damn Viking as well.
What's the nerdiest thing you've ever been into?
Pokemon.
That's it?
I mean, like I wasn't. I
Come
played.
on, that's basic.
I played basketball for so long
That's
in
not
my
nerdy.
life. So like,
that's not nerdy.
Pokemon isn't nerdy. Nerdy. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards.
I really like comic books growing up. It's pretty nerdy. It's not that nerdy anymore, but it was at the time. It's kind of
Yeah.
like
I think it's still nerdy, but nerdy's kind of cool now.
yeah.
It's a weird concept, right? Because it's like a lot of the stuff that we grew up that was like nerdy, like nerd culture is so big now that it's like it's not really like nerdy anymore. Like, or like nerd's definitely not like a derogatory thing anymore, but also it's just like, is it really nerdy? Because is it like not arguably like mainstream now?
I mean, does nerdy mean not mainstream?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I kind of think nerdy just means like being really into something. You know, like if you just like movies, that's normal. But if you're like
That's fair.
obsessed with them, I think that's nerdy. I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess that's how I read it.
And geeky for you? What would geeky
I think
definition?
geeky's more technological. If I'm
Yeah.
not, I think like nerdy is like content, and geeky is like computers and stuff.
I think like Geek
can see that.
Squad, like
Yeah,
best.
I think
All
that's
right.
right.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
fair.
Originally, geek is a term for a circus performer that would bite the head off chickens.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yo, you're the man for knowing that.
Is that
though.
because
Yeah,
it goes
fact.
like? Is it because of the sound it makes?
I don't know why they. Oh, maybe that
Whoa.
might be right. That makes sense. Yeah, that would be like the sound it would make when you bite the head off.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it'd be like, you know, yeah.
But it was like it would be like a.
What they do with it after they spit it out, they eat it.
I don't know. I mean, it probably depends on the geek, right? You know, you don't.
Fair.
Do you think there's like one geek that like has a specific way he bites the head off, and then he sees another geek doing it, and he's like, "Hey man, can I talk to you? Like I saw what you're doing, man. That's like that's my move." It's not really-
I
biting my
feel like
steez.
I feel like it's the corkscrew, like the
Yeah, they-
corkscrew.
yeah.
It's a, you know, it's a-
The other geek's like, it's just parallel thinking. And we just thought of the same thing. It's not. I didn't see you do it. I just.
He's like, but I have it patented. Like, here's the paperwork.
Been working on this for 15 years.
I've been biting chickens' heads off forever, like this. This is my style of chicken biting heads off. You know, like
Yeah.
that's just the way.
Yeah.
So, have you? So what is your practice? So, We believe in, I mean, some sort of like poly or something like that. Non.
See, I always struggle to call it poly because like I don't know that I could like love a second person the same way.
That's
I
why I
love the
say
first
some
person.
sort of, because I mean,
Like, it's just
at one
kind of
point
like
it's
open. Like I
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
idea of having like one main person that's like this is like I spend most of my time and do my shit with, and then like just the ability to like if I wanted to fuck another person or like whether it was a one night stand or just like on occasion, like that would be dope.
I get you. I think I'm kind of being a generalist with it, because I would call a cheater kind of being poly as well.
Yeah. And
You
I'm
call it what?
generally not
I call
that
a person
way.
being
Yeah.
a person cheating being poly as well, kind of. They're just
I mean,
not honest about it.
Traditionally a
it's-
monogamous person.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I date multiple people, and yeah, I mean, as long as you're being honest, I think it's okay. It can
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
there can be stuff that comes up, but it's not. You know, I don't know. As long as you're being like forthright and honest.
Have you ever had someone ask you to stop seeing the other people you're dating?
No, not really. I mean, you know, I've been in most of the relationships that I've had, or this has been like the past couple of years that this is what I've been doing, and generally it's just like I will date someone for a while and then they get like a real boyfriend and then we stop dating, and it's sad, but you know, what do I expect?
So what's the difference between a real boyfriend and you?
I just like someone who will commit.
Oh,
like
got you.
being,
You're a
Monogamous.
non-committal man.
Right now I am, yeah.
Okay.
I guess so. I mean, I'm not like I mean, I'm still like, you know, there for people I date emotionally and stuff. But I just am not exclusive.
Okay.
And,
That's right.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. I mean, it's okay. It's
Religious
weird.
belief?
It's a religious belief. No, it's I don't know. It's just where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm still I don't know. I was in a. Well, this brings me to my album, Sadly Sackerton, which comes out.
Yes.
There.
This is where I was hoping you would go. Okay, perfect.
Better go cop that.
Yeah. So I was, you know, I was in a relationship for 5 years that was you know, the most fulfilling relationship of my life, and then it ended because of you know, mental illness, really, just because I was you know, had a lot of problems and I was refusing to get help. The album's really sad. Did I mention that? I'm sure that I know I'm getting really heavy, but let me just remind you, my comedy album is super sad.
That
and
is
so
okay.
yeah, so and so like the album is kind of like about, you know, that relationship ending, and that was really hard.
Yeah.
And then how it sort of pushed me to start to get some like mental health care, which I'd never gotten my whole life, and about some of it's about that process, some of it's just about dating again and how that's different, you know.
Now, were you traditionally monogamous prior, like that relationship and prior?
More often than not, you know, I've gone through periods where I've been not monogamous, but yeah, I've had a lot of long-term relationships.
Because this is what I'm always fascinated in, is because I like, especially with like this King's mentality we always preach and everything. Like I always find that it takes guys going through, like they just have to hit this certain wall and threshold of like pain and bullshit that they've had to go through with like themselves, women and stuff, where they just finally, like, it's almost like you hit like max capacity, and then when you cross that threshold, it's almost like this like nirvana like state where it's just like you go like so much into like a surplus where you just like you can like step outside the matrix and like you just get you just get it, like, you know what I mean? Because like it was same deal for me. Like my last relationship was like a 5-year one, and it took like that ending for me to really like work out like and reach this like mentality, like both through my own just like reflecting on it, and then I found things like Black Phillip's show with like Patrice O'Neal and stuff, and like just internalizing that and applying it. It's like I do find more often than not that people have to like go through a bunch of bullshit and like come to the conclusion. Like you can teach this to some people, but like sometimes they have to like, you know what I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
Something about the 5-year mark, because I also went through like a 5-year period where then after that ended, it actually was the thing that pushed me to start comedy.
Really?
So that was an interesting thing. I don't know what it is about 5 years of something
I don't
ending.
know. Maybe it's in fives. I don't know. Mine was 20 years of being single.
It's an interval of 5.
You know what I'm saying? It's an interval of 5,
Yeah.
but like 20 years of being single and me making the realization that, like, you know, I am who I am and I'm just gonna be that. Because a lot of people don't see me as a shy
I was
guy.
wondering that.
but,
So
like,
why?
Yeah.
you started dating at what 20? You started dating your current chick. Roughly
2021, something like that.
So
it was late.
Were
yeah.
you single by choice, or you?
No, definitely not by choice.
You just weren't getting much play.
Were you
wasn't
an
getting any
incel?
play. It wasn't.
Well,
Didn't see
but-
myself.
but
My two best friends in high school were women, so
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that kind of rules me
this
out.
is the thing too. I didn't
as an
I didn't
incel,
get much
but-
play or action in high school at all.
Yeah.
Like, it really wasn't until I went off to like college, and even then, honestly, it wasn't until about like 2012, 2013, I really started like getting attention from women. And
like-
even then, not like it really didn't start picking up until about like 4 years ago.
And like at that, I wasn't even like I was a nerd, but like I kept that to myself. You know what I mean? Like so, like I was the star athlete at school.
And so you
know what
were,
I mean?
were you like
I-
me? Were you always got
Yeah,
really
same here.
suspicious?
Sorry. Schools.
Like when a woman would give you attention, were you like me then? Were you, when it would start happening, you would get suspicious? Like what's like happening here? Like
Nah.
No,
See-
I would
see,
get
like-
too excited and ruin it. Just being like, hey,
Same.
hey, how's it going?
Same. That's exactly yeah.
Hey.
If I even thought that like they liked me a little bit, I gave it way too much attention.
See, I used to be so oblivious to it. Like, I've
had that too.
There was a chick I was dating once where it was like she came out to a gig I was playing at on my birthday, and it was like when I turned 21, they bought me my first drink and everything. And then like a week later, they were bitching at me. They're like, "I bought you your first drink and everything, and you didn't even kiss me." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even realize you were like interested in that way." And it was like so like looking back, I go like, "Oh, every sign was so fucking obvious." Like now I identify it, but back then I was just like, "Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that people were interested in me that way." Sick.
See, it's funny because like it was always that like the people that I was not interested in for like any reason
Oh
those
my
are always the
God.
ones that are interested in me. So like, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
and like
That
I'm not the
happens a
type
lot.
to just date to date. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I gotta want to date you.
Yeah.
Like so like
I would say my
Oh,
type,
man.
if I had to say, I said I didn't have a type before, but my type is probably women that are interested in me. That's the thing that really does it for me.
Yeah, that's like a Patrice code. He's like,
mean-
I like people that like me.
no, I
Yeah.
mean that's definitely a big thing. But like I don't like everybody that likes me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, like
sure.
that's no. And like throughout high school, like it was always like there was nothing wrong with them. I mean, a lot of my friends in the end ended up getting with those girls, but like I didn't want them.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, no, and so like
everybody has different attractions. It's fine.
yeah, definitely. And it took me a while to get what I was attracted to. So
Yeah.
that was my and so I never went over my epiphany. So
I was gonna say
after 20 years of that, I went through a realization that like people do tend to like me for some odd reason. And I think I just flaunt my likability until someone's stuck.
Do you think there was any part of that made you start comedy? Like, what was that thing that made you start comedy?
The thing that made me start comedy was the person that eventually stuck. Just like they don't stop laughing. They're always laughing. They're always fucking. And when anybody's around me, they're usually laughing. So like, after a while, like the person she was just like, you gotta try it. You gotta try it. You gotta try it. You'd be good at this. And I was like, all right, it can't be that bad. I mean, what's playing basketball than being on another stage? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So putting those two together, I mean, I went through like the same thing, and I always wrote like poetry.
Well, so like I'm pretty good at comedy, so I think by the transitive properties, I should be good at basketball.
Bro,
Yeah.
Duncan,
We should go play basketball.
Duncan, bro.
I think I
Duncan.
might be great at basketball.
I'm telling you.
You should try it out.
I'm 5'4".
Yeah, man, you got this. You got
Yeah.
this. Rule of threes, rule of 3 pointers. You know what I'm saying? Like we got this shit.
Yeah, it's the same thing, really.
Yeah.
Crossover,
Yeah.
onomatopoeia. So like, no, I mean, it was literally it was external forces that made me go into comedy, and I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a great outlet.
As back to relationship stuff though, like that
Yeah.
thing of I definitely had periods in my life where I would have a relationship end, and then I would be like completely sure that like I'm never gonna have sex again. Like that's it forever, and it would be like I would have long periods where I would just feel like I couldn't like the idea of someone being attracted to me was like so far fetched to me.
Really?
But not eventually I got over it. Now, like when I go through a breakup, it's sad, but I'm never like, but it's not, it doesn't have that thing of like, now I'm alone forever, I feel like, I don't know.
I feel you 100% on that, brother. I know
Yeah.
just what you mean.
Right? Eventually you figure out that like,
Forever's a long
Yeah.
time.
It's not
Yeah.
forever.
yeah,
There's
Forever's a
al-
long
there's
time.
There's
Yeah.
only one good thing about women and men. There's a lot of them.
there's other stuff.
Yeah. Have you See,
That might be the worst thing about them. Is that
I get
there's
that
too
too.
many of them.
There were some relationships that with various people where I went through, like, that I had a very, very deep connection with. And then once that ended, I didn't date, sleep with anybody for, I think the longest it was like 2 years.
But you still felt like you had the opportunity, right?
Maybe, but I had no interest,
Yeah.
like, at all.
I've never
didn't-
I've never not had interest.
Yeah,
I've
that's-
always been like
Yeah, that'd
anytime
be...
that I haven't
I
been,
had, like, but I think because of my no interest, like, that just exudes, like, don't come near me.
yeah.
You know? Now when I have the don't come near me for some reason, it doesn't work. But for some reason at that point, for 2 years at one point, that worked.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of weird.
Guys build up an immunity to that.
Yeah. Also, like, just you spend a lot of time at open mics. Speaking of social understanding, there's not, as far as rooms go, the percentage of
Yeah, it's pretty in
social
the bucket.
understanding in a comedy open mic isn't necessarily because it's a room that's full of like
Incels.
at least half. Well, it's just people that are like, I'm gonna go on that stage and I'm gonna rip it, and then they go on stage and it's terrible, and then they're like, I ripped it. Like,
All right, you didn't have to make fun of me, man.
no, you're great.
Like, come on, man. What the fuck, bro?
I'm not
a
gonna
little
name names,
attached
but,
there.
no.
Okay.
Like, I'm right next to you. I'm the host of this show. You gonna knock me right here? Really? All right, bro. Come on. Fucking hell.
Yeah, not a critique either though, because I do think you kind of need that to be a comedian. You need to be
Yeah.
able to go on stage and be like,
Yeah.
that was good, even when
You have to
Even
bomb
when it's
100
dog shit.
times
Yeah.
before
You have to
something's
not
funny.
be humble. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
excellent. I ripped it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But I would say that I don't know. Studying women was a great thing for my relationships in the long run. When I
Feel like
eventually got to
you've
it.
studied women at any point?
I-
Actively?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I grew up around a lot of women, and I think
That's a good
they
one.
never like women have never been like that mysterious to me. I don't think. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I think I'm also like not like a super masculine dude, really. You know,
Yeah,
so
but what do you define as masculine? Because a lot of like
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that the way I think is that different from the way women think. Probably.
I
In
don't
what
think
way?
that the way people think in general is that different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what way do you
I think men and women think pretty differently.
Really?
Yeah,
You would have to explain that to me.
because the way they think is derived from their emotion.
So it can't be derived from emotion and still end up in the same place? Parallel thinking
It's
doesn't
still-
always stem from the same
That
place.
still doesn't mean that it's the same thinking. It can end up in the same place, but
I think
more often than not, it doesn't.
Yeah, see, I think I'm pretty emotional. I think I'm a pretty emotional thinker.
Okay.
I don't know. Definitely not logical. I'm pretty dumb as far as logic goes, but I have pretty good emotional intelligence, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, logical. I don't think is necessarily linked to intelligence, at least in terms of how I'm, or at least how we talk about it. Like, I think logical is more just like going like, does this make sense? Like,
That's logical.
Yeah.
no, that's what I'm
Reasonability.
saying. But I don't think like you know what I mean. You don't have to have like a high IQ to be logical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Well,
you don't.
I guess what I mean is I there's definitely lots of people that I see or run into in my life where I feel like the way they think and the way I think feels so different,
Yeah.
and it's not along gender lines really. It's like I think there's just as many women that I think similarly to as men, and there's just as many men that I don't think that I just am like I can't understand how your brain works or how you see the world. And
Don't worry,
approach the world.
I feel how you feel that about
Yeah.
me, man.
Yep.
I understand.
Well, just for
man.
you, everything's at a different angle. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
and that
Yeah.
breeds a whole different perspective.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, damn, I wanted to make a point and it slipped my brain. Shit. Oh well, that happened.
I think I might actually know where you were with that. Do you feel like because maybe you like, and this may or may not be true, do you think that growing up like around a lot of women might have influenced you being a more like emotional thinker?
maybe I don't know. I think I just naturally was emotional.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't. Yeah. I mean, I think that
I would give creed to that though.
I would just. I think if I was better with my emotions, then I would say maybe being around women. But I'm not good with my emotions. I just have a lot of them, you know.
Just reactionary.
But I can't really like.
Yeah, what do you mean by not good? Like, do you mean reactionary? Just you don't know how to express them?
I don't know how to
It's too
express them.
much?
I don't know how to access them.
Okay.
Okay.
So like I think I'm very emotional, but I'm not in. But I don't.
tune?
Yeah, I'm not in tuned.
You go numb almost.
Yeah, I'm just there's like walls up, you know, just because I was so emotional as growing up that I kind of had to teach myself to like not feel stuff on a surface level so that I wouldn't just be crying all the time.
I think that's in common with a lot of comics, though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I mean, I think humor is like a way you deal with
Yeah.
being too sensitive.
Yeah, it's definitely the way I do.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us, this again, we generalize a lot on this podcast, but I feel like definitely with comics, like a way of releasing those emotions is definitely through humor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Like, I guess a lot will come out on this show about me or whatever.
Yeah.
But I grew up very, very insecure. I was like not only was I was never the only black kid, but I was always the only African kid, which was bad as well. And it was always a weird perspective for me because everybody looked like me that was making fun of me for being different.
Yeah.
And
So this is something I've talked to the people about before, but do you feel like being like a second generation African? Do you think it's like as close to being like? Do you think it's just as close to like being, say, like second generation Chinese as it is to being like an African American?
we bond about that all the time.
so to being an African American,
Right, like someone, you know, whose lineage is from, you know,
so
slavery and stuff.
anybody that is like first gen, so their parents came over,
Yeah.
and they were born here. We have a camaraderie between us like none other. So no matter the culture that we grew up in, we understand that like all of us are bicultural. So like we all understand that like there's a half of you that we'll never get, but we all grew up with this American side.
Yeah.
So we all meet along those lines, and it's always kind of fun to explore the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, your parents this way. So like a lot of the time she'll say how her parents are like overbearing and stuff like that. Definitely. Same with African parents.
Yeah.
I mean, I was only allowed 3 professions going to college. You know, I had to become a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. Like that was it. They're not paying for you to go to college to be a teacher or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And like that's a common story with a lot of foreigners. So that is the same perspective. But the Black American experience is completely unique to
Yeah.
that. Because it's
It's a history of oppression, systematic oppression.
It's
for
that, but
hundreds of
even when you
years.
take that, like what that has caused, so not taking that away, but what that has caused is that it's kind of like a vacuum. You know what I mean? So like everyone's kind of looking for something to hang on to and something to call their own and something to kind of follow forward. And like we have that with with like the civil rights movement and things like that, but it's
Yeah.
still kind of loose.
Yeah.
You know, it only goes back so far. And so like you see Black Americans trying to, you know, pull forward with the history that they do have.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fuzzy when you like they say those that don't study history are doomed to repeat it, and like they have no history to study.
Yeah.
So like it's just it may seem like growing like old pains to other people, but these are new pains within this community, this very young community that's over here. So
Yeah.
like the experience I can say is I can't liken it to anything. Like I get a taste of it because I have to
of the-
experience
yeah.
what they go through with the police and shit like
Right,
that because
just 'cause
they
of the
can't
way
see the difference.
Yeah.
Also,
So-
just to go back to like, you made me think of something like, especially when we talk a lot about like our parents who have
Yeah.
come from like other cultures and like from overseas and whatnot, and a lot of the times like for us it seems maybe overbearing or there are a lot of like stringent rules or things like that, but I mean, if you look at it from their perspective, a lot of it's out of love and out of
Sure.
because they're
And
like
survival.
Yeah, of
their
course.
direction, like in their minds, like this is their definition of success,
Yes.
and like
Right.
this is their definition of like if my son or daughter reaches this level, this is how we define X, Y,
Yeah,
and
and
Z.
they want you to
But-
be happy and security is
Right.
is a part of
Exactly.
that,
That's
yeah.
their form of security. But in turn, it becomes a different problem. Like you
Right.
said, like now we've created a different vacuum.
You know what it's like?
You know?
It's like you're playing like a role playing game or something. You got a character and they're just the character's just not working out the way you want because you just keep getting shitty dice rolls, so you really don't have control over how the character's going. You're like, I want it to go this way, but it's just like the game's making it go that
Yeah.
way, and you're like,
Yeah.
please go this way, but I can't make you go that way. But like, I'd really like it if you went that way.
And then, well, there's that, and then also like, can you imagine like a ball rolling down the street while trying to observe the laws of gravity, but not knowing the difference between planes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you have to be.
Yeah.
I like the way your brain works.
Thank you. I
That's a
appreciate
cool
that.
metaphor.
I love
thank
comics.
you.
Friends. Like, you don't understand. I'm sorry. We have to pause for a second. The best thing I've done in the last year is become Facebook friends with comics because their Facebook status is making me so happy. Like, you have no idea. I just have to say that out loud.
No, that's real.
It just makes me so happy to see how people's brains work at a drop of a hat. That's all. Go
I
on.
appreciate that. Because like you're stuck in this world where like, so like being here, you have to be American. You are American. But then at the same time, you're also judged by all the values of your culture as well, which can they can completely come into confliction with each other. Like first off, at home, I wasn't even allowed to say no growing up.
Yeah.
You can't say no to your parents growing up in my household. So like, do you know how tricky that made explaining situations
Oh,
or
yeah.
like you literally had to talk passively or like you.
Yeah.
So like it kind of teaches
You have to sit with them for 20 minutes before you can ask to go out.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 You know, that's weird.
And like those are things that
White
the
people
principles
don't do
like,
that. Did you ever have to do
They
that?
do in the South.
No.
From
Yeah.
the South, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Southern family. Yeah, it's you gotta do all that kind of rigmarole and shit.
There's a little bit more overlap there, yeah.
Yeah. You have to, like the level of pleasantries and shit you have to exchange and shit too in the South. It's like people are so polite. Like if there was like an 8-year-old here, he would refer to you as like Mr. Uche, Mr. Rob,
Yeah.
Miss Ani. Like they just put that extra level of like respect into everything. Like yes sir, yes ma'am. Like
So like if you
people
guys
were shocked when I moved up here in like 3rd grade from Alabama, and people were like couldn't believe that I was so like yes ma'am, yes sir, thank you, yes please. 'Cause
So,
like,
like-
why are you talk like that? I'm like, what do you mean with manners? Like
I code switch so dramatically that like if you guys were of like if any of you were like were cultural of any sort, it'd instantly be Mr. or Mrs. or something like that. If any of you were African, it instantly become uncle or auntie, something like that. Like it literally switched that
Yeah. Did you have
definitively.
Did you want to say something?
Oh, yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say I mean, I feel like I grew up. I went to Catholic school and
Same.
then I worked in retail forever. So I feel like politeness is like a huge thing. Like just that sort of, I don't know. Like I can't. This is a weird thing that's sort of like politeness based. It's kind of, I don't know. It's weird. But I can't say you're welcome, which is a weird thing.
Really?
So if someone says thank you to me, I say thank you. Like I can't.
Interesting.
Which
That
is
is
like
odd.
something to do with Catholic school and retail. I think
Really?
because you have to be so submissive that like saying you're welcome is like
Oh.
is like taking credit for the thing the person's
Ah,
thanking you
okay.
for.
I can see that.
But and so instead of doing that, you throw the thanks back on them.
Do you think that
Yeah.
has ever bled subconsciously into relationships?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I definitely. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I don't know if I tend to take responsibility for things in relationships because of that, or just because most of the problems in my relationships do tend to be my fault. It's probably the second one.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
I mean that's something I always argue on this podcast that because a lot of people think I'm anti-woman. I'm like, no, I not really, but I never blame the women. For me, I always put the blame on the guy because it's like anything that you might go like, oh, my woman is acting like this, my woman's doing this. It's like that's your fault. You're the one that's allowing her to behave that way. You're also the one that's choosing to stay in the situation. So it's ultimately your fault and your problem to
And you
figure
can
out.
also flip it the other way too. Like you know.
What do you mean?
I mean, you can also say like if a woman is complaining about like, oh, my man is like treating me this way, blah 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 blah. Well,
my
the
man's
woman,
dick stinks.
the,
Why his
you know,
dick
as a
stinks
woman,
so
you're
bad.
also choosing to stay in that relationship.
Yeah, just wash that dick. Girl, if he can't wash his dick, wash it for him. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's
Get
a
those
fair-
stinky balls.
That's a fair point because, like we always say too, it's like we're not. You got to explain to your partner. It's like we're not together. It's like I'm with you and you're with me. We're choosing to hang out with each other, and I could take that back at any moment. It's not like just because we're together. It's like cool now. It's like locked in. It's like no, I can take that away at any moment if you make me feel like I want to take that away. So
Nice.
it's your job to not make me ever feel like I want to take
Right.
that away.
I mean, there are so many relationships that I've actively chose to stay in that I should not have stayed in.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Because
the person,
I allowed that disrespect
the
to
person
happen.
has to keep earning it. That's the
Yeah.
best way of putting it. They
I
have to
definitely-
keep earning it.
I've been in relationships where they stayed with me longer than they should have.
You weren't earning it.
I wasn't earning it.
You weren't laying the dick.
I'd become
You weren't laying the D?
complacent. No, I'm always good with the dick, but
There you go. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. You always laying that dick, man. Now I see why he never goes. This guy never single for long, man. He laying that pipe. Lay that pipe.
But I do sometimes become complacent, and I stop like working on myself, and I just am like allow my I don't know, just the security of being in a relationship just makes me let everything else slide because I'm like, hey, how bad can I be? I got this great girlfriend.
And you stop eating the puss.
Yeah, no, never. Not that. No, I'm saying I stop working myself outside of.
That's the one constant.
Fucked up. You gotta keep eating the pussy. You gotta keep eating the pussy.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
This was one long setup for that joke.
Hey, paid off, right? Paid off. And he's still going. You know, I'm loving this. You got any clips?
Yeah, we got one.
Yes.
Do we have any calls or anything? No. Fuckers, why don't you fuck faces call in? I know you got problems. Oh, this is the thing, right? I had a buddy. Yeah, it's the Facebook one. We got two clips, but so. This is what pissed me off. I have this buddy that me and my one of my best friends, Dirty Mike, we play video games together. We got this other friend, Porsche, that he knows from the military. Porsche just got divorced. Pretty sure he's only ever. I was trying to get him to call into the show, but he was just. This is the thing, and this is a lesson for guys out there, right? Like I'm pretty sure the only chick he's ever been with was his now ex-wife and shit. He's like having trouble getting with chicks, and he's like the ones that do meet up with him on the ones he can get to meet up with him, like only go out with him like once and leave him. And here's the thing I explained because I was like, well, hey buddy, I was like, you know, like if you want, I can give you some advice because like I do a relationship thing. And immediately he was like, oh, well, he's like, what would you have to tell me? You probably only fuck fat chicks, blah blah blah. And it's like, and I literally just instead of even getting defensive, right, I just go, hey Mike, why don't you take this one? Because my buddy Mike knows like the quality of women I get with it. And he just started giggling. He's like, Porsche, buddy, I've seen the women you get with. I've seen the women Irish gets with. He's like, just let him help you. Just let him help you. I'm like Porsche, I don't know why you're being defensive. And this is the thing, guys. You have to learn to put your ego aside. Because this is the thing. I went Porsche, let me ask you a question. I go, put women aside. I go, do you have a lot of friends? And he's like, well, no, not really. I go, yeah, I believe it. You know why? Because you're not friendly. And guess what? Why would a woman want to hang out with you? I think you're a fucking cunt right now. Why would a woman not think that you're a fucking cunt too?
Very true.
And I was like, Mike, have you hung out with Porsche? What was it like? And he's like, well, when I went down to Texas, I hung out with him one night. And he's like, yeah, you kind of were just a miserable cunt all night. And I went, there you go. I wonder why a woman doesn't want to hang out with you, bud.
I wonder why he got divorced.
Yeah, I wonder why you got divorced. And I'm like, and I'm not even trying to be an asshole to you right now, buddy. I'm trying to help you. And do you see how you're just projecting and being a cunt?
It's always amazing to me.
And even if you didn't want my advice, you could just go, you know what? I it's all right. I appreciate it. But instead, you get defensive and like, oh, well, you must, buddy, I'm doing okay. I'm not the one with the problem. I'm trying to help you.
How large is this person? Because they talk like they're a very large individual.
Not large.
So, like, they've never had anybody in their life just, like, knock them down a peg? Because, like, that's the way
I guess
talks.
his ex-wife did, technically.
I guess. Maybe too many pegs. Guy seems like he ain't got no more bowls. You know what I mean? I don't know why balls came out so weird, but balls.
But that's the thing. It's like that kind of that's his ego. He needs to put his ego aside. And it's guys like women can feel and sense that shit. His wife did.
Well,
that's why she left him.
It's just it's being so insensitive that you're just like trying to like avoid any vulnerability at all cost, and you end up being like a weird mutant that no one wants to talk to. Because you're just like everything that comes at you is met with like defense. Yeah.
I think there's also, before we play this clip, I want to know, since there's 3 men at the table and 1 behind a curtain, there's
in the closet.
So there's a
code?
line between being quote unquote masculine and vulnerable.
Can I say something on
like
this?
a barrier
Yes.
or
Yes.
yeah.
Go ahead, Dom.
So honestly, like I was talking about, and obviously it should come out on this, like I had kind of a breakdown on Valentine's Day. I checked into a fucking psych ward and all this shit. You know, I got mental problems and shit. And, like, I would rather do that versus, like, reach out to, let alone a friend, like, and just, like, chew their ear off with my problems, especially not a girl that I'm trying to talk to. But it ended up that a girl that I'm talking to currently, who's hotter than the fucking sun,
She is.
hit me up while I was, like,
Facts.
checking in, and I was, like, upset and crying, and she was, like, we were on the phone for 6 hours this morning, which is why I'm like half fucking dead. And she was like, dude, I respect that so much. Like, it takes fucking strength to be vulnerable. There's strength in vulnerability. You know what I mean?
Because maybe you didn't reach out to people that that you know, but the fact that you ask for help from anyone is
Yeah.
like that's so.
Yeah.
It's so hard as like a man to just like allow yourself to be that
Yeah.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
To
It's-
say,
and
I can't handle this. I need
I
help.
think a lot of guys like confuse that. Well, if I'm identify as like masculine or like this tough person, then I can't allow myself to be vulnerable with anyone or ask for help or like this or that, which I think is untrue.
Yeah.
Like
well,
I really hate the fact. I really hate the assumption that like masculine means tough.
Right.
Like,
I agree.
Well,
like
and-
the tough. No, maybe you're able to hold your own, but it's I would just say that like a masculine guy's a stand-up guy. Someone
Yeah.
that was like even if he can't take a lick, you stand up for what he knows is right. You know.
Amen.
That's exactly what I was gonna say because it's like we always preach like the key with what we're talking about is being alpha and everything, and alpha is it seems like it's this big tough thing and everything. It's not always like that. And what I would say is like yes, there is strength and vulnerability. I'd say the key because there's a balance, right? Because if you can be too emotional and stuff like that, I think the balance is picking your moments. You know what I mean? You have to pick your moments. Like you are gonna have to show your weak side at times, but you need
Definitely.
to like pick your moments when you choose to show
For
that
sure,
weak side.
yeah. I mean, it's just you don't want to just let everyone that you meet
Yeah.
just because that's also like there's like, and I think this is part of it is that like it is letting out your emotions feels like it's a burden on other people, but and the thing is like it's not a burden on people that care about you,
Right.
or medical professionals.
Yeah.
But it is a burden on like weird strangers. Like if you're like meeting someone like that I don't know. There's so many like
Yeah.
time thieves in the comedy scene that'll like come
Oh
up to me
my
when I'm trying to
God.
set up my open mic and be like, hey, blah 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 blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't like you.
I like that you call them time thieves. Like he calls them like you call them rapists or what rapists? Like time rapists or something like that.
Ear rapist?
Air rapists. Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty good description of the difference between our styles of comedy.
I think that is actually spot on. Yeah.
It's so nice. They're just like, I'm gonna listen anyways while I'm boiling this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
No. I think that's absolutely hilarious. I've definitely done it to you a few times.
No, but
while
it's
you're
not
trying to do
it's
something.
not everyone that does it. It's just there's certain people where it's like, especially like if it is like too intense, and it's like I'm like I don't have the bandwidth for this right now. And,
Yeah.
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 If someone come with like some heavy deep shit, like when you're just like man, I'm just trying to get set up. Like, can you like?
Or break down, God forbid.
Yeah.
Nah,
Oh,
like
man.
dude, there are so many times.
Can you send it in a Facebook message? Like,
There are so many times where like I'm standing there and I'll be having a conversation with a group of women, and then like some guy will just always like insert themselves into the conversation, and all of a sudden the women disperse. Like, and like
picturing it.
they
It's
never.
been-
I've watched it happen so many times. It's so funny.
You know what? I'm gonna go inside.
Yeah. It's like a dude
It's
that'll
cold out here.
a dude will be like, oh, Karizmatik's talking to some women. I'm gonna go have a conversation with him in front of them. That'll impress them. And then like goes up and is like, hey ladies, so hey comedy, blah 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 blah. And they're like, oh, we're not a part of the
We
conversation.
don't care
we're
about
leaving.
that shit.
Well,
that-
not even that. Like
I'm
sometimes.
having flashbacks.
Like
Yeah.
there was one time I was with two women in the comedy scene, and like we're having like we're like I'm sorry, everybody knows I'm always talking about sex, right?
Yeah.
And
Here's
so
the
like
thing,
they feel free talking with sex to me.
No, and that's
So,
the
like,
thing. If
we're
you're
talking about
approaching
sex.
with you, like it's like you can't try to go in there and match what Karizmatik's doing.
No,
you got to
no,
let him
no.
take the reins, and you're just there to compliment. Like,
Well, if you can do that,
Yeah,
even
I
if
was
you
just
can
gonna
do
say
that.
not everybody can compliment.
Because like there's
that.
there's certain people like women gotta feel comfortable with you for you to know this information in general. They're free to give it when they're comfortable with
There's
you.
a reason
So
people
like
are talking to you privately outside.
exactly, and if you're
Have
walking up on that
social
conversation,
intelligence,
if I'm talking to a group of women,
motherfucker. Okay.
just believe it's an intimate conversation. I usually
Yeah.
have intimate conversations. Don't just walk up unless
Yeah.
you know them or something
Yeah.
like that. Don't just walk up because we're usually exchanging like intimate questions and they're gonna just walk away. You ruined my conversation now.
Yeah.
You ruined their conversation. It's fucked up, and this happens often.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Having a conversation with Karizmatik is like fucking a gorilla. It's over when the gorilla decides it is.
I'm not often speechless. I didn't even know what to say to that.
Duh, it's a compliment, bro.
No, I know. I
We're
like,
so
yeah.
close.
So
at
many
this point
compliments include gorilla
that
sex. I think.
Karizmatik's just like, you know what?
Yo.
It's fine.
Yo, Dom, I love you. I love you. I love you, man.
I love you too, brother.
Oh my
I cannot wait for the group hug after this.
Don't worry.
Everybody's
Don't worry.
having
Don't
a
worry.
fucking day.
Don't worry.
Anyways, go on.
I just sincerely didn't know what to say about that. Like,
You know.
Hey, I don't know.
what would a gorilla say after it was done, anyways?
Give me a banana.
Why did we know? Wow, Ani, you're a monster.
I know.
I love it. Did you
I
just
know.
snort?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I call people out on those. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
You
I
do
hear
it
a
all the time,
sound.
too.
Yeah, I do. Snort?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
Have I snorted?
I made you snort laughing before.
Have I? We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Yeah, buddy.
But roll the first. What's any disclaimer on the first one?
This chick is me.
This chick is you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is chick.
Dude, this clip is amazing.
Let's watch.
It's not. You gotta roll it back. No.
No, I got it.
At the beginning.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh my.
I keep getting the same messages that I just keep ignoring, but I'm just not going to ignore it anymore. I'm tired of people asking me, why bother? Why advocate for men? Why advocate for men? Because men take up 76% of all suicides. Because men are not objects to use whenever we feel like it. Yeah, I said it. Women use men too. For sex. Because they are treated like personal
free
bank
lunches.
accounts. And if you don't believe me, there is a song trending right now called Make His Pockets Hurt. Listen to it. It's pretty gross. Because men have feelings. They feel things. Oh, but Chloe, you say that you believe in women's issues too. Why don't you advocate for them? Because there are enough people doing that. And there is nobody doing it for men. Nobody. Thank you.
Nah, I want to give that to. But you know who I've actually started advocating for recently? White men.
Wow.
Honestly, they get such a short end of the stick.
I think we're okay.
No, I mean, like, I'm just saying, like,
Hey,
the fact that, like,
I just want to thank you. It's you and Louis J. Gomez. Those
I
are the people
think
fighting for the
they're good.
I really like. I heard
Yeah.
a comic make like he made a kind of
Is
race
your name
joke. You know what I'm
Tom
saying?
McDonald?
No, he
Oh.
made a kind of race joke, and I honestly, all the minorities thought it was hilarious, and no white people wanted to laugh at that. Like literally,
Yeah, I
like
mean, that happens a lot, yeah. But
why can't they be? Why can't y'all be objective as well? Why can't y'all equally be as objective as the rest of us? I
Yeah.
don't like that
it was a
shit.
funny
I
fucking
think
joke.
that
Is it because your
well,
brains don't work that way? No, fuck
and
that.
then you went out right after him and torched them for not
Yeah,
laughing.
like why? That's not like you. They
know.
literally laughed when I did it.
Well, I think that like audiences get uncomfortable with stuff, and it's you just got to figure out how to make them comfortable with the idea you want to express. You know.
So what was the joke?
yeah.
Well, the way the joke, I don't know the whole joke.
Okay,
but
it goes something like this. Like it's essentially talking about how did you notice how people when they're early in comedy, like they hold the mic up here, and then as they get like more and more into it, their hand moves down the mic. And he's like, what did he say? He was, I kind of think that's like how women learn how to give blowjobs or something like that. And then he goes,
That's brilliant.
and he goes, I can't wait to be holding the mic like this. And then he was like holding it by the cable and it was like dangling. And then he was like,
black guys hold it like
black guys
this.
hold it like this. Not like that, like a gun, like sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
That's
Hilarious.
funny.
And like there was like he did it at the comedy studio and there was like 4 black
Who was
guys in
this?
the audience.
Mason, he's
Mason.
the fucking
Nathan.
I love
Mason
Mason.
Smith.
Oh, Mason
big
Smith.
beard.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Mason.
This whole
Shout out,
dude,
Mason.
it was
Shout
so
out,
fucking
Mason.
funny, and the thing like the 4 black guys like, just started like shaking their heads like oh like and it was like what that's funny you laughed at every they didn't even make that much of a gruff when I did the Kobe Bryant joke,
Dude.
which I thought for sure I was gonna get stabbed. I was like I'm going to immediately run and hide
You
behind Karizmatik.
always like walk that line.
Oh yeah,
I
wow.
don't know. I really, it
don't
pissed
know,
me
I
off
mean-
even more that like I literally went out and I was like,
And it-
act as if y'all didn't see every fucking black guy in the 90s hold a gun like fucking this.
Yeah.
And like they went off laughing and that just made me angrier.
Yeah.
Dude, you went up there and held it down. I saw that. That was some G shit.
Dude.
But
I don't know. I mean, I think if people are uncomfortable with something, they're allowed to be uncomfortable,
Yeah,
right?
you're
They are
allowed
allowed to be
you're
uncomfortable,
allowed to
but,
be
like-
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but also realize that you're in a comedy
literally to the
studio
point where
yeah.
or
I'm poking
or
roast
place
jokes.
or bar or
I'm poking
whatever.
race jokes the entire time, and then
Yeah.
someone after me just because he's white can't poke a race joke.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think there is a double standard to some extent, but I don't know.
You know Socrates once said take a joke or take a bus.
I would say take a joke or take a dick.
Yeah,
You would say that.
Yep.
it's a joke, not a dick.
Yo,
I don't know. I think men are doing okay. I think that white men in particular are doing real great.
I would say y'all still hold
think-
most of the cards, but like y'all
Yeah.
should be able to talk.
I don't know. I guess.
I don't think we're doing great.
Yeah, you can talk. Yeah, I think.
I
you
think
can
women
talk.
have way
I
too
don't
much
know.
power now. We're letting y'all lead, and it's going to shit.
I don't know. I
I
feel.
won't touch that.
I don't know. I'm like a old man. I'm like the. Shouldn't I be the one that's like? Like these young people are. I don't know. I think it's good. I think women are getting more power, but I think that's good. I think women haven't had enough power for a long time.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And I think
I agree with that.
that
Why
white.
you guys don't need that.
No, I've always been of the opinion that
Power
like,
corrupts.
Who is
it
that
does,
good
but
joke?
give them a
Yeah, I mean,
chance
I
to
think
get corrupt.
At an excess of power, but if you have a lack of power, I mean, really, you want to get to the point where everyone's
Wasn't it you that made a joke about something about like if women or if gay people
Talk
weren't
into
in
the mic.
heaven, then it would be so dirty. all the
Yeah,
time?
yeah. I mean, like you can't tell me that gay people aren't in heaven. I mean, there'd be shit everywhere. You know what I mean?
Dude,
So,
of course there's gay people in heaven.
there has
There's
to be.
half-naked people wearing wings and halos.
You know what I'm saying?
And everyone's hanging out on clouds.
I mean, let's
I
be
could
honest,
suck everyone's dick in this room, and that would still be straighter than clouds.
If gay people have been going to hell all this time, hell would be so gentrified.
You
at
know
this
what-
point,
you know what I'm saying?
It would be way nicer than heaven. Like everyone would be like, heaven is just like it's so sprawling. Like in hell, everything's like close together. There's
Yup.
good public transportation. You know, great shops. You know.
It's
See?
basically JP. at
It's
this
an
point.
excellent
Yeah.
joke. It's an excellent
Yeah.
joke. Like you can't. Like, it's facts. It's facts. It's just facts. There has to be gay people. Everything's white. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, tell me, God's not gay.
Everyone's
No,
old.
everybody gonna hate me for that one. You gonna hate me for that one.
Everybody's
I
a
don't think he
little gay.
identifies.
You know?
I don't think he identifies.
I don't think he would either. You created everything. You're allowed to fuck everything, right?
I don't think he fucks.
No, he definitely fucks. God
Fucks what?
definitely fucks.
Fucks what?
God,
Everything.
God lives in a constant state of orgasm. It's just constantly happening. All right, let's go to the clip.
That's what being a god is.
The next clip. I don't know. I love this chick. That's my future wife. Shout out to her.
I don't know.
We're dating now.
I think she's allowed her opinion. I think it's sad that she's so upset about men because it's pretty good being a man. I don't know.
But no. It's good being a man, but this is the
yeah.
thing.
I wait for for being a black guy to get a little.
Oh
bit
yeah,
higher on
no,
the list,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Being a black man.
We're
seems like it's still got
really
a lot of
weighing
problems.
down the man
You
side
don't-
of the scale. I
So
think.
true.
You
But
don't.
being a black woman's probably not that much better, right?
I mean, they're the highest earners in the U.S. right now.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Black women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Wow,
mean,
shout
like,
out.
wow.
But that's
wow.
that's like per. It's like the way that is it's like per person. Like it's not like there's like still white men make most of the money
Definitely,
because there are
definitely.
like billionaires that make
Yeah.
more money than like 99%
This-
of the people.
This is my problem when why I agree with this lady, because I hate living in a world where being a man is such a bad thing but being a woman is inherently just such this magical perfect thing.
It's just become that way.
Yeah.
So
that's
let's.
what, but that's what I'm saying.
I would say
Well,
let
like-
it ride out a little bit longer.
But like what?
I
You know
don't
what I mean?
think being a woman is a magical thing at all.
Well, like what are the
you don't think
challenges?
that, but I'm
you-
saying the societal implicate that's the way society treats it right now. Like society has a very
Bro,
hate
bro.
man like
I
women
understand.
push
You
them
are
up,
the
and
last
that's
person
fine.
to
But
bring this up. You
Yeah.
literally just got off the horse and you're complaining that they got on.
Well,
you
yeah.
get what I'm saying? Like,
Still.
like it's a little no. Still, it's a little fucked up. Like just like I had an argument with white people about saying the N-word. I'm like, yo, y'all said it for 200 fucking years. We've been saying it for 50. Y'all want us to cut it out already?
no, I don't
The
think you should,
fuck?
I don't think you should cut it out.
Okay, then like let them ride the horse.
I think
But that mentality is
Let our
essentially-
guest get a word in real
that's-
quick. Let
Yeah.
our guest get a word in real
the
quick.
thing is like all this like race and gender is all none of it really matters. It's all just distractions that are pushed because the real issue is class.
Yes.
And it's like rich if you're really rich, it doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, or what your race is. It's gonna be pretty good. And if
Yeah.
you're poor, it fucking sucks.
Oh, absolutely.
And and that's this argument over race and stuff is just a way that the ruling class forces the lower classes to be at each other rather than being like, why are we being exploited?
Right.
And it's the same thing with
Amen.
gender. It's
We
just,
need a That was awesome plug.
But to your point of like saying like let them ride it now, it's like you could make the same argument where you go like, okay, well once like slavery ended, black people should have enslaved white people for a bit just to like make it even.
That could have happened, but the whole bounds they fought it based on was that everyone was equal. So why would you go backwards on that?
Right. So if that's the sentiment though, then like treating it where you go like, oh, men are like garbage and stuff. It's like, well, no, we should just both be like okay.
But but like they're not. I mean, like men. No one's talking about taking away men's right to vote.
No, I understand that, but just the fact that society has this mentality of like fuck men, even if the implication is just fuck men,
I think what you're reading
retarded.
as more power is a slight overcorrection. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
they just tilted the scale,
yeah.
and the scale slightly swung a little bit above average for the women right now. Bro, relax a little bit. Give it like 5-10 years. It'll even the fuck
What
out.
challenges do you face by being a man in society?
Dealing with women's horse shit.
But you don't have
They
to.
have to deal with that too. So
Yeah.
we're all right. So
I deal with my horse shit every day.
so what's not equal there? Let's go next one.
That's kind of like a false equivalency, right? It's still the matter of fact that that's a shitty mentality to walk around with.
Like you've
doesn't
been
matter.
dealing with women's horse shit since before all of this came
I mean,
about.
I don't.
Right.
Yeah, I think that you can get a job. You can kind of.
And women can't do that.
They can, but I mean,
Yeah.
only
haven't been
not,
able to
not
forever.
Always, yeah.
They didn't need to.
You see, and that's the mentality that
Yeah,
like let them ride
exactly.
out with
Like,
that mentality
Why
for a little
should they
bit too.
complain that
Like,
they don't have any rights? They don't have to
why
work.
the
and
fuck-
I don't like working.
Like,
But
I-
it's like
But
people
who's
want the
saying they
rights
shouldn't
there.
have rights? I'm saying they have rights.
coming
You know,
from a
that's
place
fine,
where
but-
also people had to think about not being able to, make their own decisions on the drop of a dime. You understand where I'm coming from right now?
Yeah.
So like slaves equally, like they didn't have to work because like everything was supplied by the slave owners. So I mean, but like let's say they wanted to walk down the street the other day. Did they have the resources to do that? No, because the slave owner had all of them. If she decided she wanted to make a decision, the man had to make that decision equally for her to do it. Like that's not good. That's not fair in any way.
I'm
How
gonna
is
make
that?
a really extreme
Right, but
example.
you guys are getting super societal too, and we're talking about relationship dynamics.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it plays out the same way.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Really, my relationships are. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty.
By that nature, then you disagree with our sentiment of like that women can lead the relationship.
I tell you, what have I explained every time? I say that unless I have I have a general like way I want things to go, but other than that, I leave the reins. Like she wants to drive the shit, let her drive it for now. If there's something that I need to say stop for, stop. Let's recorrect. Let's do this, and then that's the point that put on the pants. But like,
aren't you still leading and just delegating the responsibilities of it?
whichever way you want to see it. I mean,
well, it should be a
But
collaboration.
that's
A
the way that
relationship
you
should be-
And that's the
define
way we
being an alpha,
collaborate.
and that's the way that you define being an alpha.
yeah, that's the way I collaborate with her. She literally wants to be like I know that if we take a right, we're gonna be on the general course. She wants to take all the lefts and rights and lefts in between.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna take a rest. I'm gonna chill the fuck out. That's the way we collaborate. And I think that works just fine. People can argue who's in control. It works for us. Fuck
That
it.
works for you. That wouldn't work for him, but it still would be the same pathway at the end of the day, right?
Sir.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
The biggest incongruity between the human
Whoa,
experience
whoa,
between
whoa.
incongruous.
We gotta have a drop for when Dom says huge words like that.
Dom, why are you using your big book learner? You're trying to impress
You
us.
got a
Just talk
dictionary
like
back
an
there?
American, goddammit.
I did a lot of reading in the lunar. So the biggest difference and hypocrisy between the human experience between genders is the inherent violence that is right behind every interaction, because I definitely see that a big chunk of women take the fact that if they are hit by a man, that they can kind of push that boundary verbally and they can actually get physical, whereas if it were to turn around, if you as a man ever put your hand on a woman, or if you're in a gay relationship and you as the
Yeah,
quote
right.
unquote man in the relationship put your hands on quote unquote the woman, or the dom versus the submissive.
No, honestly, either. I've seen it go either way in that one.
Exactly. I'm just saying that violence is the one thing that separates our experience and makes it completely different between being a man and a woman.
I think that women are a lot more afraid of violence than, as someone that's been attacked a lot, I will say, I think that I still, even though I have been attacked, I
I don't know
walk
why
down
that's
the
so funny
street.
to me.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I walk down the street with with a lot of confidence, and I don't think women always do. I think women are often any interaction with a man that they don't know is like potentially going to be either just extremely unpleasant, but ultimately could be violent.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that me being a very small man who has been attacked, I don't think I feel it to the same degree that women do.
Well, and
I have to
that's
agree with
the thing, because you remember we had to explain to this woman one time that she was like, she said something basically the effect of like, you disrespected me as a man, and I was like, well, I don't respect you like I respect a man. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I can't. The respect I give a man and a woman is different. Because
I don't know how you expect to win this argument. It's like, oh, I don't respect you.
Just
I
in
don't
his
know,
phrasing
whatever.
alone,
No,
he's already
no,
lost.
no.
But you know,
It's not
Yeah.
that I
He
don't
has
respect
he has
you,
a point.
but the respect that I give you is different than the respect I give a man.
I mean-
because the respect I give like you, Dom, Karizmatik, is that if we ever really wanted to take it there, we could get violent and get into a physical altercation. If I can't do that with Ani.
I think if you guys are big guys, you're big young men. I'm a tiny elderly person. If you guys attacked me, it would be fucked up.
No, for sure.
would you
but
try to defend yourself?
I mean, I would roll up into a ball. I'm
just saying in a one-on-one sense, any man. It doesn't have to be any man like one-on-one. It could go to a place like
Me
it
too.
just
Me
it,
too.
like he,
Elderly.
If you ever push someone too far, do you if you ever push the guy too far, do you ever fear it might become physical?
I've been attacked many times.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you know this it
Yeah,
can't get
it
physical.
can happen.
So women like
But I'm not like, it's not like I'm like, those guys are cool though. I mean, I'm
But-
a guy. Hey, guys
but-
being
wait,
guys.
wait,
You know
wait.
what you gonna do?
Wait, but women
Yeah.
women will push those buttons and take it to that same place, but knowing and hiding behind a shield that there's a societal contract that if a man puts their hands on a woman that they're automatically going to get fucked.
I guess.
So
I mean,
like
I don't
there
know.
there are
I
women
just
there are
think-
women that'll feel comfortable
I
pushing
definitely
I think
that
that
button
you're-
while
Are
hiding behind the
women
shield.
like
I
that?
think women get
Most women do that.
women
wouldn't say
get
most,
hurt
a lot.
physically
But-
attacked by men all the time, and I think lots of times nothing comes of it. You know, I think lots of times women
He's right with that, too.
stay in relationships with men that do physically hurt them. I don't think it's not uncommon at all.
But
Sure.
you know what? Let's just say that there was a woman that was like physically abusive to a man in a relationship. The only thing that's stopping that man from going and reporting that is that they don't want to look like a pussy.
Yeah.
But they could do that.
Yeah.
They could go report it. It's the same thing.
They
They
also-
just don't want to
they
look
al-
like
I
a
mean,
pussy.
that guy
that
also-
could be that I could say that about a lot of things. Reasons
Sure.
women don't speak up about a lot
Yeah,
of
That
things.
you
guy-
could- you-
So,
but-
like-
That
but
guy also
just
has
to argue
incredible
that one point-
self-control. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's. I don't know. I just think that the idea isn't like it's fucked up that you're not allowed to hit a lady. The idea is like it's fucked up that you're allowed to hit anyone.
Right.
The
No,
idea
no.
that like
Agreed.
if you hit a guy,
Very
For
true.
sure.
But if that is the reality, then the opposite's the reality as well.
I think
I
that
mean,
it's
like,
not
if-
just man or woman. I think if you hit a kid,
Anybody.
if you
But-
are a
but-
man
but
and you
one
hit
has
an
an
8-year-old
implication
kid
on it.
that's a boy, people aren't going to be like, well, this is a boy. You know?
Yeah.
Is there ever a reason to strike a child? I was spanked as a child. I do agree there is.
Yeah.
You know, for disciplinary reasons.
I disagree.
I
No, and
disagree.
people disagree
Yeah.
along those lines. There is a law in Massachusetts that does provide for people to spank their child, so that means even the state agrees.
And-
Yeah, the
You
state
know what I
agrees
mean?
on a bunch of dumb
And-
stuff.
and
no, very true, very true. But like,
Yeah.
people like who I am. I was struck. I mean, I
There
think
are
there are
states
reasons
that say
for
that
it,
you're not allowed
especially.
to have an abortion, and I don't agree with that.
Very true.
You know?
Very true. Like my reasons are a little bit harsher. The reasons that like we have the talk in the black community earlier are because like we don't have you can't make these mistakes.
for sure.
So like I believe the repercussions have to be slightly harsher for us because we have to learn that they're harsher for us in real life.
I can understand that, but I think that it's I don't. I think a lot of times, especially like in parent. I know I like grew up with like a lot of cousins that were very poor, and they definitely like hit their kids way more. And I think it's because when you're poor, you don't have enough time. You don't have as much time to be able to like be like, let's do a timeout. Let's and I get that that's a shortcut that sometimes is the option that you go with. But do I think that it's good? No. I mean, I'm not, and I'm not judging people that do hit their kids. But
That's
if you,
fair.
But to say it's good,
But in
no,
poor
it's not
rural
good.
Africa, you do have a lot of time. And they
Okay.
do still spank their children.
Well, those
so
people
there's
I
a different
judged.
reason. Like, you know, there's a reason for it. I mean,
Yeah.
like literally, like you don't have if you don't have an instantaneous response to a snake or the lion that's
Sure,
out
I
there or
get
this
you.
or that, if
Okay.
you don't have an instinctual response
Sure.
to that this pain, you know what I'm saying? You die.
Right, and I get
so it's
that.
a harsher. It's literally a harsher life we live. Like, do we have to learn that earlier and harsher than other people? I do. I still do believe because like the same thing that you were talking about, like it's a class thing more than it is a race thing.
Yeah.
There is no place on this earth where black people aren't poor. Not to say there aren't
Yeah.
poor class of people,
Right,
but we
for sure, yeah.
dominate the poor class.
Yeah.
There isn't a place on the earth. So if you're talking class, no, our racial class has been marked at the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a long time, so that
Yeah.
coincides. So we have to like. I'm sorry, but like the struggle.
For sure,
it's
and
a harsh life.
I'm not
No,
like
I know, I'm
downplaying
just- I
like
got
what
a
you know
little,
what
like-
like
He goes
like,
off, he goes,
I'm not downplaying the importance of race in our culture, but I'm just saying that the fact that black people have been pushed to the bottom has been an intentional move of ruling classes over the whole world over a period of hundreds of years to like create, you know, and it's like, you know, they if and part of it is just like that people look different, and so like if you have a slave that looks like you, the slave runs away, then they're just like another, you know, another person looks like you. But if you have a slave that looks so different from you, then it's
Very
like,
true.
you know,
but like
It's
inherently,
harder to-
you
This has been
don't
the
train
most
a.
intellectual podcast.
You
that
don't.
we've
I mean, to that same point, you don't train a house dog the same way you train a dog going into warfare.
for sure. But also, I think that doesn't. I think that the point of that is that if you're in a bad situation, sometimes you have to make difficult and choices. You have to make choices that are not good choices because you don't have a good option. But I'm saying
That's- okay, I can
doesn't
give you
mean
that.
it doesn't mean that beating your kid is good.
choice.
It just means that sometimes it's the only choice you have.
Can there
but
be better
then,
ways? I can see that.
Right. But then once you get to the point where you don't have to worry about your kid getting bit by a snake,
You can enjoy your. I
you
can
you
see
don't
your
have
point.
to beat them because it's not it because it causes even though that you know beating your kid might save them, it also does cause damage. And I mean that's like our whole point in society is to get to a point where we can like be more comfortable and have less damage, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's also with society. I believe that's unrealistic. That's an unrealistic goal
Sure.
that we're to ever think that we're going to achieve.
Let him talk.
Well, I was just gonna bring up the point because I agree that it's like the sentiment when it comes to like, you know, that you shouldn't hit anyone, but like I guess my point would just be that like there is
Except during sex, then it's
well, for
I mean,
sure.
if there's
if
consent.
it's if it's
Consensually.
consensual, it's great.
Yes.
But
Let's remember this is a relationship podcast.
fair.
Fair.
But there is a certain societal implication on one party of the two getting hit versus the other. Like, you know what I mean? It is like, you know what I mean? If I hit Ani versus Ani hits me, one looks
This is
way
exactly
worse.
like you're like should white people have been slaves? It's because it's not I'm not arguing that men should be allowed to be hit.
No, I
But
agree.
you're saying like if men are allowed to be hit, shouldn't women be allowed to be hit?
But the only reason I
Yeah.
bring it up is just to pose the question: is that really equal then?
Is it equal? No.
Because then a man is having to then by society standard have to submit down part of for lack
No-
of a
nothing
certain
is equal.
physicality.
And that was part of the point. It's
Yeah.
a little. It's a slight overcorrection.
Yeah.
It's
and
slight overcorrection. It's
no
not
one's
that bad.
no one's equal. None of us are equal.
None
and,
of us.
and we
That's
all
fair.
have different. You know, it's like it's a.
Other people would hard argue that.
No, there's no hard
otherwise.
you know,
argument.
like
Are
you guys
lives
you guys
equivalent?
are taller than me. You're
Maybe.
prettier
Are
than
we
me.
worth
I'm
the
funnier
same?
than all
Are
of you.
we-
These are just different things. That people have. Trying to sneak in a joke every once in a while. It's getting kind of serious.
No, I agree with you.
I love it. Guys, this is fantastic.
I know. We're so fucking good at this.
You're so
God damn
smart.
it. All right, let's look at the last clip. This is just a random one I found at World Star, and then we'll wrap up.
Are people that listen to this podcast gonna hate me?
No, don't worry. That's what my job
Everybody
is.
hates
I'm here. I'm
Irish,
here to
don't
take the
worry.
hate away from everyone. You guys could be like, kill the Jews, whatever. Everyone will still be like, but Irish is an asshole.
He's a hate sink.
Like, people are gonna be like, "Why'd you have that cuck
People-
soy boy on?"
Ele tá bêbado. Ele tem que ficar parado.
No, he's already lost. Uncoordinated big dude. Recipe for disaster. Oh, he's drunk.
He's
He
laughing.
shit himself. He shit himself. He shit himself.
Oh my.
Whoa,
Oh!
that is one way to win a fight.
Yeah, bro, get the fuck away from me. get away, bro. You won.
Yeah,
you won.
you win.
You won, dog. I like. Why?
Turn it around.
Just turn around.
Actually,
like,
no.
we
The
gotta see what
key
happens,
is
right?
lateral movement. The key is lateral movement.
Oh my god. Oh, that's got to be running out his leg at this point.
Ew.
He's got shorts on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'd use that too to get him away from me, bro. You shit yourself. Oh!
Good night.
My man.
Good replay.
Sabam.
He took that to the
The
chest,
jaw.
though.
No, jaw.
The jaw?
Yeah, the tip. The butt. Bam. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's really good at that.
You know what
replay.
hurt? You know what hurt worse though? I bet that fall on the cement and the next snap. Take the stool with you. I like it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Why are we watching this?
Because, guys, you should never let anyone have that power over you that you react like that. That's why you should never be able to be violent, because no one should have the power to take you to that place. Outside of someone just walking up and punching you.
What?
He said nobody should be able to get you to a place where you shit yourself.
No. No one should ever be able to have the power over you that they get you to a state where you get so emotional that you take it to a physical place.
Oh yeah.
So reaffirming your
Yeah,
point, they're like,
sure.
you should never hit anybody because no one should ever have the power to take you to that place.
But like, I think if someone's really like coming at you, you should be allowed to shit yourself. I think that's fair.
Oh, I don't need permission to shit myself, damn it.
Let it stream down the leg just a little
Yeah.
bit. Like just pull in the shoe.
Sometimes it's like words aren't enough to make a point. You need to shit yourself, just to let someone know. Look, this is how much
man.
you've upset me.
And it was all wet too. That was all liquid shit
That
too.
was man. That was how quickly that bled through those khaki shorts was. Something.
Oh man, looked like it might have been cut with acid or some shit, man. That shit came right out. Fucking man. Oh man, cheese grater type shit.
There was a. Do you think he was wearing underwear?
No, that was.
I hope
commando,
not,
man.
because if he was wearing underwear, if that came through.
Guys, this is
Both layers.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, if he was wearing
SPC.
underwear, his dick is soaked
this
in
is
it.
more SPC than Kingz.
A shit soaked sausage.
Oh, man.
No,
Oh, can you imagine the next one that gives him head? Oh my god.
I don't like this. I'm a lady. Okay.
This is why I don't like anal shit, man.
Throat fucking only, right?
Throat fucking only.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I think we can wrap it there, man.
Dude.
Yo, drop that. Thank you for joining us for another installment of the King Podcast. I have been your boy Karizmatik.
Irish O'Neal.
Honey Moush.
Rob Crean.
Producer Dom.
Oh yeah, guys, we'll be back again on Wednesday. Check out Rob Crean's album. It's gonna be coming out at the end of the month, 28th of February.
Yeah.
Sadly, Sackerton.
And you can pre-order it on deadandmellow.com.
Hell yeah, Kings.
See you Wednesday.
Sadly, Sackerton. Let's get it.
Welcome to the gangbang dungeon. Shit ain't safe. If your chain hang, the jailers gon' snatch it. Even the warden stay straight thuggin'. White boys bloodin'. Black CIA agents corrupted. Flying cocaine planes hustling. Banks stay smuggling funds from the public for the turf war against A-Raps with AKs bustin'. Oil fields flooded. Block boys searching for ways out. Rapping the kid, they name buzzing. Confederate flag rhetoric